What are the key takeaway points from this press conference today?
Quite a lot of information being processed right now. One of the key takeaways is that this is still just the beginning, still a lot more research to be done, but the WHO and Chinese investigation teams working on the basis of 4 different hypotheses. First off, it's that of a direct transmission from an animal to human beings, a spillover. The second one being that of a transmission via an intermediary animal host that still needs to be defined. A third hypothesis that was considered by the investigators was that of circulation and transmission through via frozen food packaging, which is a theory and which is a hypothesis that's been pushed forward a lot by the Chinese authorities. And the fourth hypothesis that they considered was that of a laboratory related accident and a leak. Now, the WHO investigators came to the conclusion that the most likely of these 4 hypotheses is the second one, that of transmission via an intermediary host. They still need to define what that animal was. They don't have any more conclusive evidence about who that might be. Interesting, though, as well, that they completely said that it was extremely unlikely that the origin of this pandemic can be traced back to a lab leak, which was a theory that was pushed forward by the Trump administration and amplified by former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. And as for the frozen food packaging, which is a Chinese theory, the WHO team saying that it could have played a role in potentially the circulation of the virus, but only after hypotheses 2. But still a lot of work to be done.
Okay, so no major clear and determined, I suppose, definitive findings yet, Charles. But the Chinese have used this press conference to hammer home their position on the origins of the virus. Tell us more about that.
Yes, absolutely. We heard a lot of the messaging that we've grown used to hear from the Chinese authorities in this presser, explaining that this was just the beginning of the investigation of the origin tracing work. From the origins of the pandemic, this saying that the next step could be potentially an investigation in another country to understand that. So opening the field of possibilities to the fact that the virus may have originated outside of China, which has been an important part of China's messaging, and also again pushing forward that idea that the virus can be transmitted via frozen food packaging, imported frozen food packaging. That's a theory that's been pushed really hard by the Chinese side, and so far hasn't gained any or much traction outside of China. So clearly, yes, China really using this as a way to put forward its messaging.